Hello people of YouTube, Srsly here, and today I'm going to be taking you to and through the old Iron Keep. So, without further ado, let's get started. Also, I realized that at the end of the last video that I said that killing the Duke's Freja by using this guide only nets you 2 of the Lord's Souls, which is incorrect. So far you will have acquired 3. The Duke's Freja, the Lost Sinner, and the Rotten. And going and killing the old Iron King will net you your 4th and final Old Lord Soul. Anyways, head into the broken stone gateway and speak to this lady and tell her to move the path, which will make it so that way you no longer go to Hades' Tower of Flame through here until you pay to have the path moved again. But instead, head through the Hunter's Copse, spelled C-O-P-S-E, not corpse, and so that way you may proceed and go to kill a few more bosses on your way to the area boss. Well, the actual boss that you're intending to kill. Ignore that guy in the chair. He only talks to you if you have if you're a sorcerer and high enough level, which we're not. Up the stairs on the right. Take a left inside the building. And wait before going through the door, because there's a thief on there, or an assassin or something on the other side. You will break the door when you get close. Just like that. Head through the right, ignore the ladder, head into here, and here's your bonfire. That wasn't nearly so bad. Rest here to reset the location of those thieves/assassins. Excuse me. Run through this area. There are a number of things that will chase you, but none of them are too threatening. As you can see, they're pretty much just normal hollows. Run to this gnarled root over here. Run up the path. And drop into the house on the right, just past this tree. Inside is another one of these specialty knights, guarding yet another sworn bone dust. This guy will drop to greet you. This should be an enemy, which will... There we are. There are a number of enemies that really like just following you. Also, I didn't level up the Estus flasks from the last video using the Sublime Bone Dust, but that's okay. Because once you kill the Skeleton Lords, there's a bonfire that can be used to do that. And the Skeleton Lords themselves aren't too terribly difficult. At this point in the game, you will be extremely overpowered compared to where you were earlier. So you should be able to clear out the boss and all of the boss's minions with relative ease. In fact, it's more of a freebie boss than okay. There's a house, I believe. Yes, there it is. It's currently locked, and the key is up ahead. Also, you want to kill anything that followed you across the bridge, because we're going to go fight a dark spirit to get the key. different to the Old Iron King, enemies are going to have pretty much exactly the exact same amount, or pretty much nearly the exact same amount of health as you have on your average hit. Well, whether you manage to hit them twice or 3 times, you'll just barely be able to kill them. So, what you want to do to maximize your damage output is to get right up against the enemy, because doing that will make it so that you do more damage, because in this game, the deeper your sword goes into an enemy, the more damage it'll do. For example, if you're, say, like, 2 feet away from an enemy and just clip him with the tip of your sword, you only do like 80% of your max damage. Versus if you hit him with the entire sword, then you can do up to 100%. For example, I could normally one-shot that guy if I'm right up against him. But in this case, it takes me 2 hits, because he just barely survives the first one. This is incredibly important later on, when you're having to fight the Elan Knights in the Iron Keep, as it's so incredibly nice to be able to kill them in only 2 hits, versus 3. Right into here, right hand side to kill the Necromancer. And now that he's dead, all the skeletons that you kill will no longer respawn. You can tell if they would have respawned normally, because they would have given you souls, or they wouldn't have given you souls upon death, versus when the Necromancer is dead who would have revived them, they won't. Kill the skeleton and the Titanite lizard and loot this guy's body for a Srsly shard. The last one is located in Dranglake Castle, but for the time being, you'll have to be content with only 11 uses. Anyways, make your way back to the house by running through the cave here, making sure not to drop into any of the pits. Oh, wrong way. Taking care not to drop into any of the pits along the way. Then you will meet Pate's good friend. Sorry about the alarm. Right there between the skeletons. If you talk to him enough times, then he'll sell you some things and he'll teach you a gesture.
Who are you?
I guess he doesn't sell anything, but he does teach you a gesture. Now then, now that you've rested and restored your SS flask uses, then you can run back through the cave all the way to the far side over by the waterfall, and you'll have access to the boss, which is just through the fog gate. Skeleton Lords are actually a 2-part boss, although there are 3 of them right now. 2-part in the sense that there's the part leading up to where you kill the Skeleton Lords and the part after where you kill them. The first part, where you actually have to kill all the Lords, is difficult if you don't have very high damage output, which shouldn't be a problem for you, because you can usually kill them in about 5 minutes or so. Afterwards, when they die, you'll notice that they release a bunch of flaming skulls that hit the ground in various locations. These skulls will spawn in skeletons, a lot of skeletons. But you need not worry about that. Basically what you want to do is just run through and kill them all. It's pretty funny, actually. Such a seemingly difficult boss brought down to nothing. I imagine it's considerably harder on Next Game Plus. Also, make sure none of the skeletons manage to get behind you. I'm pretty sure they do a backstab when you get too close enough, although it has been a while. Also, don't let your health get as low as I just let it. It's very possible to get swarmed by these things. And with that is the quote-unquote boss. So, head through the path on the right where the dark fog gate was, and then pull the lever at the end to lower the bridge, which leads you into the Harvest Valley, which is a poison-filled hell, which we will be running through. Additionally, if you are looking for Titanite chunks, then the lady up here, just past the bonfire, sells rare rocks, which include stones that you can use to infuse and reinforce your armor and weapons. That's her right there. We'll be talking with her momentarily. Of course, she doesn't immediately sell Titanite chunks and Twinking Titanite until you've managed to meet up with King Vendrick, which we will be doing about 2 videos from now. Now, although I'm not thoroughly poisoned, you'll notice my armor and body is covered in green, poisonous water. I have no idea what it is. And you'll notice it slowly wears off. However, also buy our bonfire aesthetic. You don't need it, but it's a good thing to have, nevertheless, in case you are interested in New Game Plus. Okay, I am currently poisoned. As you can see, the poisonous goop is wearing off of me. It's nearly at my ankles right now, from where it was, like, entirely coating me up to my head. Once you make it to the other side, you want to heal up to max. And now, wait until your endurance bar is full, and then run along the right-hand path. Do not stop until you get to the laterite part. Wait for her to do one of her Kiss of Death attacks. Or just attack in general, I suppose, for engaging her. And all of her minions. Pull the lever to raise this gate, which will allow you to move on to the next bonfire. These are perhaps two of the the closely placed bonfires in the game. Also, there's nothing interesting about these jars. The only thing they do is poison you. They sure do a good job of that. Additionally, resting at bonfires, if you haven't noticed, removes all of the poison goop on your body and completely resets your meter, in addition to fully restoring your health. In short, if you're poisoned, or if you're covered in poison goop and you want to remove it, just rest at the bonfire. It'll completely remove it, any status effects, and it will restore your health back to max, in addition to fully filling your Estus flasks. Anyways, over here to the Praise the Sun altar. Don't forget to enter the covenants. Learn the gesture, only the best gesture in the game. Hit Y on your gesture icon to switch it out with a much better gesture, and continue on. When you go into the entrance, hesitate hesitate for a second, wait for him to break the jars, and then keep going. Past the second one, up the stairs, and kill the strange mushroom bug thing at the top. Position yourself so that way the weird knot or rope and the stairs are roughly aligned, and then run forward and do a jump attack midair. Run through, activate the switch, kill the mannequin. Run through, over here on the left is another mannequin. Opposite him is a soul. And here's a chest, which contains a heavy crossbow +3, which does a substantial amount of damage, and we might be using it later on the run. I'm not sure. I can't recall using it, but you should definitely use it. It's pretty good. Now that you're nearly poisoned, and surely going to be poisoned, use a Pharaoh's Lockstone in this room. Lucatiel is usually right here, but since we encountered her earlier, she's not. Got a poison bite ring. Eat one of your poison moss clumps. Change out your ring of binding with your poison bite ring, which has a purple gem. I was expecting to be a green gem, but it's not. Run in here. This is repair powder. It's not amazingly necessary, and chances are you don't need as many repair powders as you do, but still, it's a collectathon. Now then, make your way back to where you just were at. That guy is never there. Not sure why he is there, actually. Oh yes, keep your poison ring and your poison moss clumps equipped for the time being. At least until the end of the boss after this one. Again, hesitate. See? If you do get hit by that, it's an automatic poisoning. The game ignores its usual logic in this one because it's a special case. Ignore the Pyromancer. Heal up. And prepare to fight the boss. Covetous Demon is sort of a pathetic boss in all regards. He reminds me of that one character from Star Wars. It only has a few notable attacks. The jump attack, which it just used, the one where it swings one of its arms forward, a slam attack, and a rollover attack, and which it's about to use, and a tail slam. All of its attacks are very slow and easy to predict, so you should have no problem predicting them and moving out of the way accordingly. Not that the boss does very much damage at this point in the game anyways. There we go. Alright. There's a bonfire here that you can use to warp back to Majula and level up. And in my case, well, in any case, burn some Sublime Bone Dusts for additional health restoring from Estus Flasks.
Is that?
Oh yes, and to give Estus Flask shards, that way you can now have 11, which is which is one away from the maximum in the game.
Less.
Also, I have a considerable amount of souls on me. I'm probably not going to ever use them because, I don't know. I usually forget or just enjoy having them in my inventory. It's really up to you. You can use them and enjoy enjoy the temporary benefits, or you can keep them in your inventory and just have them there forever like I do. It's really up to you. Almost. Sorry about that. I got briefly interrupted. Now then. Another bonfire, which has a picture of a windmill on it. Or, excuse me, just a tower. From here, run through the room with the poison pots. Up here. Across the path, killing the guy at the end. The ladder. Kill the two mannequins that open up. Or just run away for the time. If you need to, you can bait them out, or bait them into this hallway to kill them. It's sort of an improv thing. I had no intention of that happening. I guess it's very difficult to kill them very quickly, so if you do want to beat them over there for an easier kill, go ahead. This guy you want to kill. If you can manage to knock him off the edge, cool, but otherwise just kill him before he hits 3 if you manage to get the right positioning on him. Light the bonfire, grab a torch, and then set the windmill ablaze. You do accidentally rest of the bonfire like I just did, you do want to kill these guys again before attempting to light the bonfire. For some reason, the game just lets you set the metal on fire. Not sure if it's coated in oil or grease, or if it's actually wood, strange texture pack. But, whatever the case, it's strange. There was a Radiant Life Gem over there, but I'm not a fan of this area and just want to run through it. Additionally, there's an illusory wall right there, which actually contains something of relative importance. Although you will replace it later with a better item, which you'll get after killing the Looking Glass Knight in During Lake Castle. So you don't have to worry about it for right now. Normally that pool right there is filled with poison, but right now it's not. Because you managed to set the giant pinwheel on fire. Grab the poison stone, I drop it down onto it, and enter the boss. Now, Mytha has a number of attacks, the most notable of which is definitely her magic attack that she just used, that you can easily just dodge roll through, or just block with your shield. It's not too terribly important. Most of her attacks are lunge or sweep attacks, so you should either just block them on your sword, or excuse me, on your shield, just backstep away from them. She also has a grab attack, which she just tried to use, that you can just dodge roll out of by rolling backwards or to the side. She doesn't use it too often, and it only deals about 30 of her health, so it's not too important. So in short, it doesn't really matter if you mess up on that attack. The fight itself is rather easy, so long as you stay out of the poison pools on either side. And remember to set the thing on fire on your way here, otherwise the entire arena will be filled with poison. So with that being said, let's do Old Iron Keep. There's a bonfire down here that you want to light. Alright, continuing off of last time, at the bonfire just below the bridge, you want to head across the bridge, and there'll be an Alon Knight sitting, waiting for you on top of the bridge. You can usually kill him in about 3 hits, sometimes 2 if you can do about 300 damage per hit, but that's rather unlikely unless you found a few Titanite chunks, which I didn't seem to. Anyways, once you're inside the gate, you'll almost always get invaded. It's Armorer Dennis or Fencer Sharon. It really depends. And when you do, you want to head back outside, because they always spawn on one of the 2 sides outside the door, right there. The Dark Spirits really aren't too difficult to kill unless they get back up like they just did. In which case, it's a better idea to bait out their health, kill them, because they're considerably weaker. Step inside first. Oh. Yep, there we are. Alright, gotta kill this one quickly. Yep, they have about 590 health. So, if you do about 295 on hit, you should just barely have enough to kill them. Oh, bit of a lag spike there, sorry about that. Just started up my computer, just woke up this morning. I had to cut off the recording short last night because I needed to go do other things and my family needed to go to bed, so sorry about the sun cut off. Anyways. Additionally, I'm not sure why this guy is called an armor, even though he uses a bunch of sorceries like he does, and he has basically no heavy-hitting weapons. Kind of like the Woodland Woodland Children that you saw over in the Black Gulch just before the Rotten. Anyway, so there's a merchant here. He's pretty swell. Over in this slot, you can see I already bought it.
Very well.
Like I said, I cut the recording off short and I started up a little later. Anyways, there's this guy here on the stairs. There's the bowman. He's dead. Alright, and usually there's a body here where you can get a lockstone of Pharos' lockstone, and then there are 2 hidden walls, or illusory walls. This one normally isn't open. This is always open. This is a crossbow, which you can use to shoot the Alon Knight who's standing right there. Again, the illusory wall that's right behind him, for some reason he doesn't know it's there. It usually isn't open, so you have to open up both of the illusory walls first. Just go up and kill him. Not sure where this guy comes from actually, but he always seems to know where you're coming from, and he always meets you in the doorway, assuming you're fast enough. Now, this place sucks, because there are a number of bowmen. I already pulled this lever right here. I didn't pull the one on the other side, as you can see, because the other side of the bridge isn't lowered. Usually you have to pull 2 levers. One to lower this side of the bridge so you can start getting across, and another one so you can finish getting across, and that way you can make your way back should you need to heal. Which isn't likely, because once you clear out this place, you really just want to keep moving, because having to go through here more than once just absolutely sucks. Additionally, the really nice thing about Alon Knights, well, 2 things actually. 1, they can't climb ladders like I'm doing right now, and 2, they usually, like I said earlier, have about 590 health, so they can go down to 2 of your two-handed heavy attacks, or like that guy, he just falls off a cliff and dies. There's another 3 of them in this area, one over there, another one over there, you can't see him right now, but he's around the corner. Also, just got a life ring, if you're interested in health regen, and that's certainly for you. Health's at 75%, gonna use a life gem instead of wasting an Estus, even though the bonfire is right up ahead. Alright, now you don't want to drop down, actually, sure, if you want. It's kind of dangerous though. You can barely get to there. You should either run or roll to it. It's really up to you. Running is usually the preferred option. Oh, another leg spike. I already cranked this wheel, or I turned the wheel, my bad. And you want to drop down here. There's a door here which leads into the furnace, which you normally can't enter into. There'll be a number of knights that'll chase after you. You can usually fight them in here for an easier time. Or it seems they just fell right off the edge. Never mind. And once you do that, come over here, pull this lever. You see the bridge lowers the rest of the way. There's really nothing over there that you really need access to, and there are 3 knights. One of them is one of the big bowmen that I killed earlier, and another 2 of the regular knights. Go with this ladder, there'll be this guy waiting with his sword out, not his bow. And these things opposite him, on either side, that line the pathway, if you hit them, they'll explode and they'll shoot a column of fire. So, try to stay away from them if you can. Also, there is one of the hardest optional bosses, sorry, just woke up and throat's a little raspy, which is the nacho cheese demon, as most people call him. Not sure how I managed to dodge that. And it's Smelter Demon. It is definitely a fun fight, that's for sure. Yeah, and leg spikes look crazy. Alright, pull this lever, that'll lower down that platform right there, which will give you access to the ladder on the far side. It's kind of difficult to make out, but trust me, it's going to be important later. Again, if you're speedrunning this area, make sure to roll through that door, so you don't have to sit there while it slowly opens. This ladder right here leads to a bonfire. Now there's a chest here, and there's a bonfire just off that little lip. Unfortunately, you can't make your way back up the lip without having to go all the way around and drop down right over there. So, you're quickly going to learn to hate this place if you don't already. You should just have barely enough stamina to make it up the ladder without having to go to 0, so gives you a good head start. Now there are a number of dark spirits up here. The one I just killed, that's one of the bell keepers, and this one right here, this is a sorcerer. She's not too threatening. See, she just goes down in 4 hits, and then there's another one of the bell keepers. Again, pretty weak. Nothing too scary. There are about 3 bell keepers here, I think, and one that summons when you ring the bell if you kill the actual bell keeper, the human one back there. So don't kill him. The sorcerer and the guy I just killed don't respawn, but the rest of them do. So, but actually they're not too big a threat because their legs are so short, so it shouldn't be a problem just running right around them. Anyways, head over here. This is where the bell tower is. Pull the lever to ring the bell. Ring-a-ding-ding, and go off to the side. There's an item. Again, you should have just barely enough stamina to make it up this ladder. Perfect. There's Bowman Guthrie waiting for you. Again, he's not too big of a threat. None of the dark spirits really are. Okay. There's one more you have to deal with. But there's a ladder right there around the corner. You can just barely make it out. He'll come up it and come straight to you, so you don't have to deal with those two shooting arrows. And again, they're too short, so they can't climb up the ladder, so they're not a threat. Also, see, these midgets have some of the best aim in the game. I don't know why. They fire extremely quickly, and they have a really good aim. I'm not sure if their arrows have increased velocity, or if the gamekeepers gave them better accuracy to compensate for their overall just simplicity, but they're really a pain to kill if they do happen to shoot a few arrows at you. Okay. You don't have to get what's in that chest. I think that's just a pyromancy. Could be wrong though, I've never really used it. Wall here. Again, nothing in here of terrible importance. Just sort of a fun Easter egg, I guess. Yep, lots of Black Knight items. You'll be seeing them periodically throughout this area. Already open that. And do not drop back down. You do not want to go through this place a second time. Trust me. This place sucks once you've gone through it like 15 plus times. This somehow managed to reset itself. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that you could switch it back. Never actually had to do that. The more you know, I guess. Again, health at 75. Just use a life gem. You want to hold on to your Estus. This next place is going to be kind of difficult. Wait for the fire. Also, there was a very important key at the start of this area. You might have seen it. It was on a body. It was underneath one of those Taurus fire trap things. We'll be coming back to it later. Of course, you can go for the key if you want, but it's almost certainly going to get you killed. Or at least you'll lose about half your health. Also, don't activate that. It's just a lava trap. Unless you like the look of it, of course, in which case go for it. Ferrous lockstones past this point are relatively useless. Right. Now these guys, they're a huge pain if you try to deal with their swords. So you want to bait them into using their arrows. Once they start to draw their bows back, then, okay, except for that guy apparently, then you'll know that you won't have to deal with the swords, at least until they fire their shot. So we killed them all here. Additionally, they have a small chance of dropping destructive great arrows, which goes great with Dragon Slayer bow, which does a lot of damage, has a lot in hot pack, and imagine it's pretty fun in PvP. I've seen quite a few videos of people getting shot off the edge just by using it. Alright, so in here, there are a number of jumps you have to make. You won't need the Silver Cat ring, thankfully. None of them are too far. Then there's this one right here. You have to drop off onto the rim. I nearly fell in there. For a gold Covetous Serpent ring. Or a Covetous gold serpent ring. You want to drop down here. If you can manage to land on the door frame, then you won't take as much damage as I just did. These are bear powder, I guess. There'll be another guy over here. If you time it right, then you should barely just manage to knock it into the pit below. Probably could have gone for it there with a few poise breaks, but nah, I don't want to die. We're already pretty far in. Alright, this guy, he's a pain. Again, you have that extra reach, so put to good use. And he should be dead here. Awesome. Now this thing, it's like a giant cleaver, kind of like a guillotine. And what you can do, if you want to be cute, you can bait this guy over here. It's a one-hit kill. No, there's no special animation. I wish there was. Oh, damn. And yet he still goes for it. This guy. No? Alright. Guess they must have patched it out or something. These things shouldn't kill you, but take off a good chunk of your health. Pass by an item there underneath one of the Taurus fire traps again. There's a lever up here which you can use to deactivate it. Additionally, there's a bonfire, which means you never have to go through all that hell again. Thank God. Go ahead and use it. There are no enemies they have to worry about. And there's a lever up here. Also, you may have noticed this is a giant head. This is actually an idol to what I would guess to be whatever those Taurus fire trap things are. Not them themselves, but the idol which they're depicting. Anyways, we're back to the Threshold Bridge to go get that key I mentioned. Also, by this point, you've likely accumulated a good deal of souls. Oh, also, there's I keep calling him humanity's human effigy over there. It's very difficult to get unless you have a fire quartz ring, which you'll find in the Dragon Eyrie later. So don't worry about it for the time being. You can always just warp here later. Okay, you'll see the fire trap over there is deactivated. The item is completely open. Of course, there's still knights around, but they aren't a problem if you just run. Iron key. That's important for accessing the DLC later. If you're interested in that, I'll be uploading a short series after this one. In addition, I'll also be uploading a video showing you how to get to and how to kill all the optional bosses, including the Nacho Cheese Demon we just passed by. You can equip the Silver Cat ring here if you want, and you will receive a considerably, well, you'll receive a lot less damage if you jump off these ladders, but it's just as fast to just simply go down them this way, so you don't have to heal at the bottom, so. And then there's a a lightning short bow. That'll be used later. Well, it's not necessary that you have the lightning short bow, you just need a short bow. The lightning short bow deals slightly more damage, so I guess it's preferred, but when you're killing enemies who have hundreds of health and your bow only does like 100, I don't think it really matters too much. Anyways, over here is the area boss, and it is the Old Iron King. It's a giant fire demon. Alright, right off the bat, you'll notice you have a very small platform to work with, and it does have a hole here. Do not stand anywhere near that, otherwise you will get knocked into it. You will feel stupid. He has a number of attacks, the most notable of which are most likely his slash and fist slam, which he just uses both of them there. He also has a few special attacks that he uses when he gets to a low health, which I'll point those out when you see them. He's going to do one of his sort of half special attacks where he has like a little fireball in his hand and he shoots a flamethrower at you. But most of the time you'll just need to worry about this. He can chain them up to 2 times. On the second attack, he's stunned or just is recovering. He also does this. Do not stand next to him, otherwise he'll let off a huge shockwave, does a little bit of damage. But it's not the damage you're worrying about. You're worrying about that little fire pit right there. Again, try not to stand near it. Alright, this attack is awesome. You can usually get like 5 hits off on the side of his face. The one where he's going from left to right, unlike right to left, from your direction, of course, not his. See, like this one you can get 1 hit off in his hand, but it keeps moving. So you just want to run back over here. He can't reach you over here. And then he does this. Alright, I'm not going to kill him. I want to point out a few more of his attacks. Like this one. His hand is flaming. This is one of his special attacks he gets when he's low HP. Just wait until he's low, or until it's right about to impact, and then for this one you just want to run. Try not to get hit like I did. If you start running over to this side as soon as you see it, then it's unlikely to hit you, because of his current location, it's on the right. He can be in one of 3 locations: the center, the left, or the right. He always spawns in on the right, but assuming you die, then he'll always spawn in on the left. He can reposition himself, but this only happens if you back off too far. Like, here, I'll see if I can't beat it out. I'm just gonna hide over here, and then... Oh god. Alright, never mind. Well, that's okay. Now you get to see his new location. I guess I did bait it out. It was a skill play after all. Anyways, I'm not entirely sure on the central location, but I do know for a fact he can be on the left or right, and you will see him on the left here when I manage to make my way back to him. Anyways, he does have a number of attacks. During the first phase, I'm pretty sure he only uses the attacks when his health is above half. They are his slash, his slam, his flamethrower attack with his hand, his fire breath from left to right or right to left, and he can also dive. You won't see that, or haven't seen that yet, and it's unlikely that he will use it. It's kind of rare, unless you're going out of your way to avoid him, in which case he will almost certainly use it. Yeah, it should pretty much cover it. Basically, the trick to the fight, just roll through his slash and slams. You need to roll through the slash attacks. You'll see he's on the left here. And you want to just simply run out of the way out of his slam attacks. Or you can just roll like I needed to do there, as I was repositioning. Usually get up 4 to 5 hits. You don't want to let your stamina drop to 0, because he usually almost always follows up with a fire attack, or something similar. Like this one. Yeah, I got hit by it. Basically, the thing I haven't been doing this whole fight, if he's shooting with his right hand, your left, or his right hand, or his left hand, your right, then you want to run to the opposite side. Also, if he's swinging with his right, then you want to dodge in the opposite direction of which he's swinging. Likewise, if he's slamming with that hand he just did, you want to run to the right, not to the left like I did. Again, he's on the left-hand side of the arena. You want to run to the right to avoid that attack. You don't have to roll through it like I did there, by the way. You can just run. I'm just doing this because I don't want to go through this entire fight and make you watch it again. Alright, he's nearly dead. 2 more hits in him. And... darn. Alright. He should be dead here. Nope. Like I said, if you go too far away, then you'll bait out his dive attack. Now he's going to be on the right. He's probably going to break that. Okay. And GG. Anyways, Dark Fog Gate's over here. There'll be a petrified something on the chest, not terribly important. Again, you can give it to the twins over in the Things Betwixt for a random drop from an item pool, which is slightly higher tier than if you just give them a smooth and silky stone. Again, well, not again. There are 3 tiers: petrified somethings, the large smooth and silky stones, and the small smooth and silky stones. Also, I'm not going to skip this guy's text. It's kind of important.
No one has come this far, not for a very long while. Young Harlow, do you wish to shake this curse? Then accept the fate of your ilk, and face the trials that await you. Unless you have already joined the Crestfallen. Young Harlow, there are but 2 paths. Inherit the order of this world, or destroy it. Only a true monarch can make such a choice. Very few indeed have come even this far. and yet your journey is far from over. Half-grown Hollow, have you what it takes? Truly? Young Hollow, seek after Vendrick. He who almost became a true monarch. The Vendrick is certain to guide your way. Fledgling Hollow, may we meet again?
Alright, fun drinking game. Take a shot every single time he calls you young and a hollow. You'll almost certainly die of alcohol poisoning, I can guarantee it. Alright. Once the bonfire is rekindled, there's an area leading to the DLC, which you don't currently have the key for. Then just rest the bonfire, return to the far fire. You can just level up as you please, and I'll read you my leveling guide if you should happen to need it. And you want to level up in this order. Vigor to 20, Strength to 16, Endurance to 20, Vitality to 27. You can see I've already done that and beyond. And then you want to do Endurance to 30, Vigor to 30, and then Strength to 30, and you can just go on from there. And with that is the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Sorry for the random cutout halfway through, but until next time, make sure to join back next time where I'll be going through everything in Drain Lake Castle up through the Looking Glass Knights. Until then.